We're creepy and we're spooky, mysterious and kooky. We're all together kooky, the Aggie family. This week we have a story, a history that's gory. How zombies got their glory, the Aggie family. Stay with us and we'll tell you about the ghost that said boo, a puppy that can scare you, the Aggie family.
Welcome to this special edition of Cash Rendezvous. Today we are visiting where it felt most fitting, their antiques, skulls, and personal belongings to awful rulers from ancient times. We're at the Utah State University Hatch Room.
This place reminds me of back home and our cellar where we keep our collection of skeletons.
Speaking of the undead, we have a visitor here talking to us about my favorite thing besides the deceased, and that is the living dead. Now, I love zombies, especially from films like The Dawn of the Dead. Utah State University student Ayana Likens joins us to talk about the evolution of zombies.
Yeah, I was really interested in the history of zombies and how they differ through Hollywood movies. Do you guys know any zombies?
Yes.
Some of our closest friends are actually zombies.
Oh, really? Well, let's see how your friends evolved throughout history. You've seen the films, but where does this flesh-eating monster come from? It starts in Haiti. In Haitians' religion, voodoo, they punish people by turning them into a zombie.
The belief system exists within this whole cultural complex of understandings of life and death and religion and spirit and the supernatural that really gives that idea a lot more resonance and meaning.
They kill the person, then a sorcerer does a ritual to bring them back to life, which turns them into a mindless, controllable slave for eternity.
Haiti is a revolutionary country, a country of slaves who revolted and claimed ownership over their land and their lives. And it makes sense that the most extreme punishment they can think of would be eternal enslavement.
The Magic Island author William Seabrook introduced America to the word zombie. He describes it as a dead body which is made to walk, act, and move as if it were alive.
From Haiti, land of the voodoo.
White Zombie was the first zombie movie and was based around the Haitian version of zombies. Haitian zombies were mindless but otherwise looked normal. It was Hollywood. They really put on the gore. This is how people today see zombies.
The vicious zombies that will tear you apart, trying to eat your brains.
Little flesh missing from the body. They amble about mindlessly.
Half dead, gory, blood coming out of their face.
The zombies we know and love were introduced in 1968 in Night of the Living Dead, with differences more than just physical.
And the Haitian zombie doesn't bite and make more zombies. That's the American film zombie.
Newer zombie movies start to take on new ideas.
We still see that motif of mindlessness, but we see it portrayed in a different way. We see it suddenly taking on themes of consumerism and themes of mass culture.
Like love and consumerism leads folklorists to believe that zombies will always be changing. Ayana Likens, Cash Rendezvous.
It's so interesting to see how pop culture has changed zombies into the monsters we have today. Nonetheless, I'm so grateful that some of our close friends are being mentioned in the limelight.
When I think of the undead, I tend to think of the librarians who stay in dark spaces and prey on the brains of the living. As a matter of fact, we have one here with us in the studio. Dan Davis works in Special Collections Department here at USU. Hello, Dan.
Hello.
What is this?
This is a photo, I believe, from 1982 of BYU versus USU, and we won 20-17.
That's incredible, especially with the rivalries that we hear about here at Utah State. So yes. That's impressive. What else do you have here at Special
Well, in
Collections?
addition to photos, we have the official university archives. We have the folklore collection, so ghost stories and things like that. We have art and rare books, and we have manuscript collections like diaries and letters, and that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for making us feel so at home here in Special Collections.
Yes, absolutely.
I talked to some weaklings who told me about the time they got scared by a little paranormal activity.
There was like a microphone stand with like things stacked on top of it, like balancing, like on the top of this microphone stand.
For the ritual, you needed a sacrifice. Luckily not a blood sacrifice. So we're like, hey, okay, we'll sacrifice this chocolate bar.
So once in a while, I would go down my basement and just out of the corner of my eye, I would see a white maiden just in a dress that goes all the way down to the floor, just walking past. Then I just double take, and she's not there anymore.
One of us ran and flipped on the lights, and we're like, whoa, that was super weird. And we looked, and the chocolate bar was unwrapped, and a bite was gone, was missing.
She died when she was in the chapter. Don't know how she died. Nobody knows for sure. There's been plenty of rumors, but I lived in her room over the summer.
I know I'm going to sound crazy for this, but I saw what looked like an old prospector or something, and he had glowing red eyes.
It was like 4 a.m, and I heard 2 claps next to my ear. I woke up, and I was crying because I was so scared.
I'm not ashamed to admit, I peed myself. I started running as fast as I could. I tripped twice, and I literally ran out of that thing screaming and crying.
As you can see from the stories we heard today, things are not always what they seem.
Well, welcome back, Ariana.
Thanks, Emily. I must admit, I especially loved the story about the boy who peed his pants.
I have to admit as well that I was really surprised he was so open to talking about that.
I was too. Joining us now is one man who appreciates the souls of the deceased, Austin Elder.
Hi, Ariana.
Hi, Austin.
Yeah, what used to be used to launch flaming corpses and flaming balls into enemy castles now is actually being used by USU students to launch candy-filled pumpkins to USU students. You know, it's a shame that we resorted to something as beautiful as death and destruction to a children's play toy.
Such a shame.
3, 2, 1,
Children chased after candy-filled pumpkins thrown by.
It's like a launch machine.
Also known as a trebuchet, a medieval weapon first designed in the 4th century, used during sieges to break down castle walls. Now USU students use them to launch pumpkins.
The best part is just watching the trebuchets go, having it all built together, having it all look great, and then seeing it launch and hit a washer straight in the face.
Go, Carter, go! Now it's time for those kids to go get some candy. I like the catapult more because they shoot the candy.
This was a chance for some Utah State students to be able to toss pumpkins from clear across the soccer field, trying to hit targets, washing machines, fridges. Some even had candy.
Some of the harder challenges would definitely be the design to make sure they don't break under the pressure of the pumpkin. Because these trebuchets have been a while, there have been ways to avoid that. And using those past methods, we've been able to overcome any breaking in the moment arm, breaking in anything of the actual trebuchet, so that it launches the pumpkin with safety and with direction. Today was a success. We had plenty of people here, and we had a wonderful time with music and with the toss.
Well, that's one fun way to get some candy.
Speaking of candy, Emily and Adam showed us how to make some holiday treats.
When we come back, Lurch, I'm so sorry, Adam and I are going to show you the simplest of Halloween treats that you can enjoy while your trick-or-treaters are out and about.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
I tried Oxy at a couple of parties.
I thought I had it under control. I didn't know it'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Lurch, Adam has some of those Oreo balls for us to try. Now, unfortunately, where we are in a room that has so many valuables, we're gonna wait until we leave to try those. Thank you.
Now that we had a cooking lesson with creepy creatures, Nick is here with us to show us some creatures in costumes that aren't so creepy.
People and their pups came to celebrate Halloween at the Cache Humane Society Dog Park.
For an event like this, it's not you that needs the costume, but your furry friend.
That didn't stop some of the owners from dressing up with their pups.
We love Halloween, and so that was kind of our big thing is we don't have any dog events for Halloween.
I'm excited to see all the dogs in their costumes, and I just think it's a fun event.
These dogs aren't just dressed up.
The big event is going to be the pet parade, where we can kind of show off costumes one at a time. And then we have some photo booths that basically will have a costume contest. People can take photos with their pets and win some awesome prizes.
I think this is awesome. When I heard about it, I was super excited. It gave me an excuse to go buy costumes and bring her and the other dog out here. So yeah, we're excited.
The parade is more than an excuse to dress up your pup. It's also for a good cause.
Cache Humane has been awesome, and this has been a great way to help them out. We have people bringing donations just kind of to get in.
All donations were from Cache Humane Society's wish list of items they frequently need.
I agree. I think that those puppies are spooky enough for our family. Now, how would it be to get paid to scare people for a living? Shay Densley shows us how one program here in Cache Valley did just that, but more out of desperation than inspiration.
The skeletons at Little Bear Bottoms scare people every weekend in October. It was originally a sod farm that grew corn as a rotation crop. After a farmer stopped buying their corn, they decided to diversify. With 2 months' notice, Little Bear Bottoms didn't lose their heads and threw together a corn maze, but they realized it wasn't enough.
The Clark family found that a corn maze was a lot more profitable than just selling corn.
It sort of happened because of necessity, trying to pay the bills, and everything we did was trying to pay the bills. And so in the long run, what we found out was this was a tremendous help. We were able to make the land payments. We were struggling.
Over the years, they created the Haunted River Trail, Barn Ride, and Straw Fort to stay afloat. Jed gets help from 2 local farmers to keep Little Bear Bottoms running each year.
I take the corn, I feed it to cows. They eat what they're going to eat. They use some of it to grow fat and muscle, and the rest of it they poop out. And then I haul the manure back here to be put on the ground for fertilizer.
Jed says with farming becoming less popular and laws that make farming harder and more expensive, farmers across Cache Valley struggle to survive and not end up like this guy. Shay Densley, Cache Rendezvous.
Mazes always remind me of being a little girl and making crop circles in the neighbors' fields. Now, keeping things spooky, the magnificent Mckay is here to show us some things in the Special Collections room.
That's right, Emily. Now, this table right here, as you can see, is King Henry VIII's old table before it came over here into the hatch room. With how many scratches on it, you would think that they had some kind of monster in their court. When we come back, I'll show you some monsters from Cache Valley.
I'm only 17, but I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family, the first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
They gave me Vicodin after my knee surgery. They kept prescribing it, so I kept taking it. I didn't know it would be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Now that you're back, I can take you on a journey to show you those monsters from around Cache Valley. Long before Angie's Family Diner existed, a monstrous bear terrorized Cache Valley.
Old Ephraim is a very famous Cache Valley legend in actually throughout the whole Bear River Mountains. A lot of people knew him as a menace to their sheep herds.
Farmers said Old Ephraim was a massive bear, larger than any grizzly ever seen.
Most accounts will say he was about 10 feet tall. Some accounts I read say he was 13 feet tall and even 20 feet tall. We wanted to know how big he actually was. We had his skull measured. They decided that the bear would have been about 7 feet 6.5 inches tall and about 550 pounds. So that is still very, very big for a grizzly bear.
Frank Clark was one of many sheep herders hunting down Old Ephraim, but he was the only one to succeed.
The story goes that he shot him again and again and again until he only had one bullet left in his gun. His dog started nipping at Old Ephraim's heels, and it distracted the bear just long enough for Frank Clark to approach Old Ephraim again and shoot him one last time in the head.
Old Ephraim met his end a few feet from this memorial, but he wasn't the only monster of Cache Valley. The other one lived in a lake a few miles northeast of this canyon.
The documented history of the Bear Lake Monster is that we first hear about it in newspaper articles in the 1800s as a report of local stories from the Shoshone tribes about a creature that lives in Bear Lake.
Folklorists describe the Bear Lake Monster as being similar to the Loch Ness Monster. So similar, in fact, that some believe them to be the same creature.
This is a very popular theory that Bear Lake and Loch Ness are connected by underground waterways, and the creature spends half its time in Scotland, half its time in Utah.
Folklorists still debate if the Bear Lake Monster actually exists. Unlike Old Ephraim, there's barely a hint of a monster stalking the lake. The Bear Lake Monster may not have much proof you can see, but you can see and hold models of Old Ephraim's skull here in special collections. Speaking of weird creatures, Caden Anderson joins us now.
Yeah, Mike, online video games are always changing, and I'm here to show you how Crossplay is changing the way you can play with your friends.
For a long time, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC couldn't compete with one another. A new game release has changed that.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare released on October 25th. This is the first AAA game to release with crossplay compatibility. Now you may be wondering why I have my gaming headset on. It's because I'm about to boot into a game of Call of Duty Modern Warfare and play with both PC and Xbox players on my PlayStation.
I think it'll bring
the gaming community closer. There's always been a divide between which system's better, Xbox, PlayStation, PC.
So I think at start it's going to be rickety, it's going to be, broken, because there is that feeling of, oh, you play on Xbox, oh, you play on PC, you play on PlayStation. People are always going to be fiddling over that and stuff. But I think in general, over time, wounds heal.
Modern Warfare is not the first game to use crossplay. Fortnite by Epic Games made crossplay between consoles and PC possible.
They have such a big player community that if Sony was to really say, hey, let's not play together with these two, it would really break apart a community.
In Fortnite, I didn't have a very good experience with crossplay, just because the PC players have a more advantage.
If you decide you'd rather not crossplay, both Activision and Epic have made it possible for you to disable it.
Man, all this talk about video games really makes me want to play. Do you like to play Wednesday?
I prefer the real thing. And just so you know, that chair you're sitting in was once occupied by a man who murdered 2 people. It's my favorite chair.
Ah!
Why are you running? Where are you going?
All of this murder talk is making me so hungry. Luckily, there's a new place in the valley that just opened.
I actually travel around the country to go to all the old Chicagos.
People joined Walter Hudeberg outside the new Logan location, which is the first in Utah.
I've been to 141 different stores. This is my 15th grand opening. The 7th time I've been first in line.
They started at 6 in the morning to be one of the first 100 people in line.
My roommate actually works here, so he let me know a week ago. Gonna be free pizza if you're one of the first 100.
I'm expecting it to be a little bit warmer inside. If it's not, I'm gonna be disappointed. Looking forward to the food for sure. I don't know what there is to expect. Better than your regular average run-of-the-mill pizza or the pizza that I can make.
And I'm gonna pause for just a few minutes.
People got a ticket as they came in, which they turned in for a voucher.
Thank you so much.
Old Chicago hosted pre-opening events over the weekend to train their staff and raise money for the Cache Community Food Pantry.
Any alcohol, though, that was sold, the franchise team here is actually going to match that with a 100% donation back to the Cache Community Food Bank.
For every Chicago 7 pizza that you buy until December 1st, they'll donate $1 to the Cache Community Food Pantry.
Old Chicago serves handcrafted pizzas using 5 different crusts.
Hey, that's good.
They have 40 beers on tap.
Park City Blonde Hooker Ale.
And more than 90 craft beers.
Because I like beer, and I like drinking different beers, and that's what Old Chicago actually got me, drinking different beers.
The beer tour involves drinking 110 different beers.
I also like the fact that when I go around the country, they'll show you all the local brews.
Walter has done it over 10 times to get an engraved mug.
It's 1,100 beers, and it's not a race, it's a marathon.
Old Chicago is named after an old pinball machine that the founders used to play.
I was able to pick it up after they closed the first store that ever opened. I'm the only one in the country that has an Old Chicago's pinball machine. Beer, not meth. Kids.
Kendall Douglas, Cache Rendezvous.
I'm not quite sure if that establishment could handle our family. But if any of you lovely people do want to go, you can visit it. It is located at 1400 North and 800 East.
A cold heart like mine enjoys a nice aggressive competition on the ice. Some students from Green Canyon High School are getting a lesson in ice sports.
Sweep! Sweep!
Students from Green Canyon High School are sweeping their way through the semester by taking one of the coolest classes around.
It's just an ice sports class, so you just do sports that involve ice. So you do curling, hockey, figure skating, broom ball.
Curling is the first section that students learn.
It's like billiards / bowling on the ice. It's pretty fun. This is my second week doing it, actually. So yeah, I've been learning along just with the kids. So this one cancels this one. This one.
Well, it doesn't matter because yellow's the closest to the center. You can throw one as hard as you can to knock an enemy one out.
Although most of the students are still in shorts and t-shirts, they are able to stay warm by staying active.
Sweeping's a lot harder than I thought it would be. You have to push down really hard or run fast to keep up with it. It creates a path for the stone to go on, so then it keeps moving.
The Eccles Ice Center is just a stone's throw away from Green Canyon High School, making it easy for students to stay active while learning cool new sports.
After another fun day of curling, and as the Zamboni driver cleans the ice, the students of Green Canyon High School head back to their normal classes.
Wow, I really thought there would be more blood and violence in an ice sports class. Thanks for the horribly disappointing video, Brandon.
You know, while the story may have been disappointing, we really appreciate the opportunity that we had to come entertain you lovely mortals today at Utah State University.
Look for me in your nightmares tonight.
Thanks, Aggies.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
What if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow.
My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your life.